Yellow, this is the Sky Priestess. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video today is because, well, there's a need for it. Now, I am in contacts with psychics all around the world, and basically something is up. Astrologically speaking, this relates to the upcoming solar eclipse in Pisces and the kind of energetic buildup that we are all experiencing towards this. The actual solar eclipse will be on the 26th of February. So we've got just under a week to prepare. Now, eclipses bring out in energies that have been embedded in 18-year cycles. So to look at what's going on now, you look at what was going on 18 years ago to see what themes are connected to what you're currently experiencing. But in and of itself, Pisces generally, covers a huge ambit of areas. It deals with your relationship with spirituality as a whole, how you choose to connect metaphysically to other realms, other dimensions. It also looks at our intuitive channels and specifically the relationship we have with what we call higher levels of consciousness. Now, for those of you who follow me on Facebook, you know what my view on this is. Higher levels of consciousness does not necessarily mean sane, safe, or good. In the same way, lower levels of consciousness do not necessarily mean evil, dark, horrible, ugly, so on and so forth. That is a spiritual binary that we are collectively beginning to dissolve. As we go into multidimensional consciousness in this almost race to get to 5D, what we are being asked to look at is truly, how do we connect to spirit? Are these connections truly grounded? Do they truly reflect the reality of the body and the earth plane that we are all in? If you want to call it a collectively agreed upon illusion, you also can, but the principle still applies. Does this energy actually reflect the truth of what we are experiencing in the here and now? Are we actually connecting to spirit guides, to guidance from out there that actually empowers us and nurtures us and brings us on track? Many spiritualists are basically realizing and waking up to the fact that connecting up there doesn't always get you to where you think you're getting. There are a lot of figures of illusion that are cloaked in layers and layers of light. So again, light-dark dichotomy doesn't really work. So spiritualists, in fact everybody, but especially spiritualists, are going to be facing a lot of ancient energetic signatures that are coming out right now and asking them to really own their shit. Look at what you do. Look at who you are. Look at the connections that you make. Look at the connections that help you define your definition of spirituality. These are what are being transformed and cleansed and opened right now. Now, some people are really going to take this energy and go straight out of their bodies, which is up to them. Personally, I would say it's a great time to stay safe, stay sane, stay grounded. Practice basic self-care every day. Drink enough water, get enough sleep, get nutritious food, spend time in nature, spend time with friends. You don't need to overcomplicate it. And as my sisters keep reminding me, Capricorn, make the time for joy. Make the time to actually get out there and do fun things, irrespective of what you are experiencing at a physical, spiritual, metaphysical, psychosomatic level. What we are doing right now is we are letting go of old codes that teach us how to feel with respect to our spiritual experiences. And so many of us are coded with the idea that to be spiritual is to suffer, that to be sacred you must be wounded. Now there is a sacred reverence for the wound, and that is totally valid and legitimate. But when taken overboard, that becomes a crutch or an obstacle to those who are actually trying to find more transcendental states in being, where the concept of wound no longer even exists. So we are all moving towards that direction, and each of us is going to be doing the best they can with the level of consciousness they are at. So in the next 2 weeks, practically speaking, I would say try to avoid anything that really takes you far out there unless it is something your soul absolutely has to do. Do it with a facilitator you trust, who can handle and discern the differences in energies and vibrations that come from higher consciousness and lower consciousness, because, well, the two really have a lot of discernment work involved in them. Make sure that you take care of the basics. Make sure that you make sure that you look at the health of the physical body. Look at what it needs. Look at your daily lives, because that's where you're going to find a lot of growth. Remember, We're all trying to become spiritual lotuses, but the lotus pushes through the muck. Those of you who are feeling particularly ungrounded, make sure that you get support networks. There are institutions and people who help those who feel particularly vulnerable at this time. Reach out to those networks if you feel alone and overwhelmed. I kid you not, this is going to be a very intense 2 weeks of spiritual clearing and realigning. Now, that's what I had to say. It probably came across in a lot stronger way than I thought it would, but that's the way the message needs to come. So, take care, everyone. Goddess bless. Stay sane, stay open, stay grounded, and stay discerning. That's going to be really important as we progress. So, take care. Goddess bless. Ciao.